Welcome to the Press Box. I'm Cee Will. Today we have an interesting show, quick little show. Very interesting. We're gonna walk into the beef that's going on between Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock. Shots have been fired. Like they are going at it. And it's crazy, man. Like the things that Stephen A. Smith said in in a backlash to Whitlock, calling him fat, a fat bastard. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And Whitlock fired back at Stephen A. Smith. The whole thing is about, the truth is starting to come out about Stephen A. Smith and how he really is, his character, and, a lot is hidden, to us in the media that they don't reveal, or they hide, how, a person really is, people can hide behind their media persona, so to speak. So Whitlock is exposing what the Marcellus Wiley, that was his name. He actually came out with, I guess his theory of what happened, between, his theory about what happened between Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith, because Max Kellerman was forced off of First Take. Stephen A. Smith is the show host. So, and he went publicly, saying that he wanted him off the show. So, but we'll take a look at a couple of videos here. And before we move forward, if you like this content that we're giving you here at the Press Box, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So, you can get everything that we come out with as we release it, as I always say. So we'll do a share, and we're going to look at, I want to look at Stephen A. Smith, what he says first. Okay, let's go back to the screen. Hang on one second, guys. I'm trying to get the right clip. Okay. There we go. We're ready now. Let's get it going. All right, without further ado, here's Stephen A.
A lot of people out there that want me to address other names. There's one particular person who will remain nameless, and I will not deny it. I think he's a fat, no-good bastard who I despise to the core.
On his solo show, Stephen A. Smith appears to call out this man, Jason Whitlock.
Even though he has made a career out of maligning and ridiculing and trying to wish others the worst. I'm where I'm at. That particular individual is where he's at. And I'll leave it at that. And no, I'm not talking about Marcellus Wiley again.
And makes it clear he's not calling out his newest beef of the week, Marcellus Wiley, nor is it his former co-host, Max Kellerman.
Never trust a man in a black fedora.
That's not even his fedora.
That's Alicia Keys.
It belongs to the tattoo from Fantasy Island. Like, come on, B. How you buy a hat that's 10 sizes too small for your head?
It's quite obvious his shot is being taken at Whitlock. And after making it clear it's not Wiley and Max, he says this.
They ain't fat bastards. Who are seeds of the devil.
Wow. Seeds of the devil?
Wishing nothing but black folks home.
Wait a minute.
But I'll leave that for another day, for when the time is right.
So what has Whitlock said about Smith?
Stephen A. Smith and all the other race baiters go on TV. Okay, you want to throw a punch at me? I get it. You're an equal opportunity punch thrower. But what you're saying is he's not. He punches down at the targets that he's directed to punch at by the NBA, by the people at Disney and ESPN. There's no accountability for himself. And then he's pretending to be strong when really his criticism is weak.
Hilariously, he had this graphic shown that depicts Whitlock in a different light.
I just don't think.
Okay.
I think he's pretending, like Steve says, to be political and say provocative things.
Okay, so we get a little bit of what Stephen A. Smith said to Whitlock, and it was crazy. To call the man a fat bastard. But the funny thing is that Whitlock actually didn't agree with Wiley. He didn't agree with Wiley. Wiley was the guy that said that he believed that Stephen A. Smith had an issue with Max's intelligence and Max's ability to be more accepted in black culture than Stephen A. Smith. With Stephen A. Smith being like, you know, what they call the Uncle Tom because he's at the top of ESPN. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, people felt like Stephen A. Smith was out of touch with, you know, his culture of people. So, yeah, so I don't know. It's, you know, I keep saying DeMarcus, Marcellus Wiley, he has his podcast, and he initially, you know, said what he said about, you know, what he thought, because he went to the same college as Max Kellerman. Wiley did. Marcellus Wiley and Max Kellerman went to the same college. So they have a lot, you know, I'm sure he has some love for Max. So coming to Max's defense to say something that pretty much a lot of us already thought about Stephen A. Smith. But Whitlock, you know, he's just against the grainer. You know, he is somebody that he tends to have his own opinion. You know, people like to call him a hater because he don't go along with the get along game. He's a contrarian. And, you know, and he's not, in my opinion, he doesn't shy away from his spiritual beliefs. And you're on national TV, you can't really just do that as freely. And I think a lot of Whitlock's perspective comes from a biblical perception. And a lot of people in the world today who, you know, we don't really like to put that on the table. So we tend to kind of go against that because, you know, the country is so diverse that, you know, they don't like to, you know, just to elevate, you know, a religion or a belief or whatever. So a lot of Jason Whitlock's perspective comes from that. And a lot of times and oftentimes in America, that causes problems. So we're going to look at Whitlock's response real quick before we get out of here. I just thought it was interesting that both of them were just going at it, you know, two black men, and it's like, wow, you know, But hey, it is what it is. It's always something with us. Okay, here we go.
So he says, let me hide behind Whitlock. Let me distract and let me point all the animus at Jason Whitlock. And hey, guys, I know y'all calling me an Uncle Tom, but here's the real Uncle Tom. That's the move of a coward. That's the move of a person.
It's looking like Jason Whitlock fired back at Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith called Jason Whitlock a fat bastard on his podcast. Just in case if you missed that video, let's highlight the clip again. Here's the video.
Now, there's a lot of people out there that want me to address other names.
Well, they showing
There's
it
one
again.
particular person who will remain nameless. And I will not deny it. I think he's a fat, no good bastard who I despise to the core. That is not Marcellus Wiley I'm talking about. It ain't hard to figure out who the hell I'm talking about. I'm where I'm at. That particular individual is where he's at.
Did he really
And I'll
do
leave
the
it at
hands
that.
up?
And no,
then
I'm
it
not
went
talking about
down?
Marcellus Wiley again.
Wow.
No, I'm not talking about my former colleague on First Take. No, I'm not talking about them. They ain't fat bastards
That is pretty low.
who
Funny, but
seeds
it's
of
low.
the devil,
Then he called a man the seeds of the devil. That's like,
wishing nothing but black folks home.
and he's
But I'll
saying
leave that for another
he's
day
the
for
real
when the time
Uncle
is
Tom. And everybody.
Okay, I did a
had
full video
problems with
covering that.
Stephen A.
I'll have the link to that down below. Stephen A. Smith also addressed Marcellus Wiley in that video as well. Let's check out what he had to say about Marcellus Wiley because it's going to put everything into context in today's video. Let's check it out right
The
here.
individual who he felt the need to come to the protection of
Commercial.
that's his best friend. My only disappointment in Marcellus Wiley was what he said. To be in the year 2023 and to accuse a black man of being scared of the intelligence
So
of
why
another
didn't he
black
say
man.
nothing
If I saw
personal
him,
to him?
the only thing that I would say to him is, bro,
like he
really?
did Jason Whitlock.
That's what we doing now? A black man is scared of the intelligence of a white dude? Really? In the year 2023, we gonna say something like that? Because I can assure you, I ain't scared of nobody. Not when it comes to intellect. You know why I'm not scared? Because either I'm just as smart, if not smarter, or I learn from their intelligence and it makes me more intelligent.
Really?
So I'm always winning. I'm sorry he's gone from ESPN. I'm sorry he's gone from FS1.
You see how he just throwing
I
shots?
hope whatever it is that he's doing, and I'm assuming it's something more than just his podcast because the brother's bright as hell.
Condescending.
I wish him nothing but the best.
Okay, so Stephen A. Smith pulled the race card again. The same thing he did on the Breakfast Club when he addressed Marcellus Wiley when Charlamagne the God asked him about Marcellus Wiley's video about him and Max Kellerman. So Stephen A. Smith is clearly deflecting from a beef or a feud from Marcellus Wiley because he took a more respectful approach, a more light response than normal. You know, Stephen A. Smith, he usually is typically more animated when it comes to like these feuds and beefs or anybody that's constantly mentioning his name. And you got to look at all the videos Marcellus Wiley has done on this topic. You would think Stephen A. Smith would try to come with the smoke, but he didn't. He's ducking the smoke right now when it comes to Marcellus Wiley because a lot of people, including myself, is just saying that, hey, Stephen A. Smith is just ducking away from the truth. And that's the reason why he's deflecting away from Marcellus Wiley.
Right.
So Jason Whitlock, he addressed the fat bastard comments on his YouTube channel today. And I would like to highlight that clip. So let's check it out right here. Here's the video.
Be sure to hit that like button for me if you haven't already. That helps this YouTube channel continue to grow. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, stay up to date with all of my current YouTube videos. Peace.
All right, so that's Stephen A. And this is where the problem Stephen A. Smith has and the problem many
think his
people
response
involved
was
in corporate media, many
best.
people that are addicted to social media. This is the problem they have. They can't be. I've put myself in position, and the quirk in my personality allows me to be very, very honest. Stephen A. Smith not being honest here. Let me walk you through. You know, he says he wants to do no harm, and says that how much he loves Marcellus and he's not going to disrespect him. But the first thing he says in a passive aggressive shot, clear as day, it shouldn't go over anybody's head. I'm assuming he's doing more than that podcast.
I'm sorry he's gone from ESPN. I'm sorry he's gone from FS1. I hope whatever it is that he's doing, and I'm assuming it's something more than just his podcast because the brothers.
So basically, we get the gist of what is going on. My take, and I'll keep it short and simple, is I think that what Marcellus Wiley said initially is true. Because he didn't say anything about what Wiley said as far as him being intimidated. I mean, he kind of said something, but he really didn't address it. It was real light because he couldn't tell the truth, you know, because Wiley is telling the truth. Marcellus is telling the truth. So he had to go, you know, a different lane. But he chose to try to keep his dignity up by attacking Whitlock. And Whitlock actually, if you look at his whole show yesterday, he actually said that he didn't agree with Marcellus Wiley. So why attack a man that actually didn't agree with the guy that started this stuff up anyway? So it's a big mess. But the one thing that I'll say is that, you know, we see that Stephen A. Smith has been exposed even further than what he was already exposed. In my opinion, you know, he's a snake. He's gonna do whatever that best suits him. And if that's, you know, getting somebody off the show to make himself look, you know, greater, then why wouldn't he do it? But I come to that conclusion by looking at his actions, you know, and the way that he, you know, responded to all this stuff. It kind of really, you know, it showed that more than likely the things that Marcellus was saying are true. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Stephen A. Smith was in the right to respond the way that he did after being called out by Marcellus Wiley for being intimidated by Max Kellerman's charisma, Max's ability to talk about all subjects without all the controversy, you know, and Max possibly, you know, being more intelligent than Stephen A. Smith is? What do you guys think? So that's the show for today. And again, if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, The Press Box. And like I said, that way you'll be in tune on everything that we come out with. So, like I said, go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments. And until the next time, I'm out.